We're all about sharing the facts and teaching the tricks. Let's talk all things about music, the life of music. Let's engage about the rhythm. Let's talk about our passion for melodies, sound, and those beautiful classics. Let's get educated about these decibels we oh so dearly love. On this podcast, we talk about these politics. Welcome to Music Politricks. Sambonani dumelang kere exe na kalina ke nabusi baba khulu baba dese ba re ke the queen of Pitori. I am in the presence of greatness in this episode of Music Politricks. We're just here to share the facts and really teach the tricks of everything about the music industry. So yeah, producer wa today is a multi-platinum selling producer. He's been at it since you were 15 years old. I mean, you've really just worked with the who's, the business in the industry. Pila kwena the business, to be honest, because these people
I'm the music business.
People want to work with you, Joe.
Yeah.
You come highly recommended. But nonetheless, thank you so much for joining us. Some more Music Politics. Drum Pope.
Fanaka, thank you so much for inviting me. It's really a great honor for and then get
Sure.
and I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a minute, Joe. What you been up to, didn't I?
So, I've been trying this and that, but I'm currently working. So last year, I've applied for a Guinness World Record thingy. So got a acceptance letter mid last year. I went under a category most digital releases by music act in a year. So I'm releasing 1,100 songs between now and September.
So in 9 months, basically.
Yeah, but get September last year.
Okay.
But get no. So just did a milestone. My van get to drop a binat 100.
No,
Once.
100 songs in one day.
In a day, my one. So when you called, I was like, okay, sharp. Give more movement day. No.
Sure.
Yeah. So thank you so much for calling, Fanak.
Well, congratulations, firstly. You know, I mean, that's a big deal. And even just from taking the time out of, 1,100 songs, I said, Papa and Fleece.
So
to take some of the time to
so
do
I was
it.
telling the guys early, my van hopefully to phone or I'm calling busy thing but I really needed that call, for almost studio and not like change of scenario and whatsoever. Understand? So I'll be more pumped up.
Okay, shout out, man.
Yeah.
And just looking at your career as a producer, Drum Pope, you've been at it,
I've been at it.
Been at it.
I think, and it's also one of the reasons that motivated or inspired the whole thing, Guinness World Record. Because for me, I've contributed for more than 7 years professionally, like in the South African music industry, And then for me, it came a point where I kind of felt I've reached like a ceiling. I think I've done everything that I could have done as a music producer in a sense. I've worked with almost everyone I ever wished to work with. For me, what's next? Where to from there? Because also I kind of felt I've been helping people to tell their stories.
Yeah.
And then 15 years being a music producer, I find myself getting a little bit at a 5 under my name on my Spotify. I'm like, hey, I haven't like really told my own story.
Yeah.
So let me do it better. Let me do it on a higher scale.
I get that.
So yeah, that's how we came about it. And world record.
Okay, no, big shout out, man. But let's get into the business. Let's get into the music world, once upon a time, and I don't know if you still are, you were like one of the in-house producers for Kalawa Jazzmee, But before that, how does one actually get in touch with someone like Oskido and Oskido believing in you to be like, Nejo, Batseni, get into my company and be that person who's producing for so many numerous artists?
Yeah, so with the music thing, like my story won't be the same as the next person, but for me, how I really went about nele that in Lahore, I had to try ke master skill sa ho producer on my own capacity and then for 2009 10 11 12 13 14 15 yeah for 6 years like negative qualities just working on perfecting the craft and then uh after 6 years, I started now reaching out because I was confident enough for no spanning no some not. When I started reaching out to mainstream artists and whatsoever, and then I was fortunate to produce for Lady Zama.
Nice.
I think it was 2016. So we met through a friend, Lucky. Lady Zama, not like a producer at the time, and then like he made that call and then and connected the Lady Zama and then yeah we did main chick man and then from there I think the rest is history because that project it was the one that was able to open doors for me. It enabled me to have a conversation level Naboski. It enabled me to have a conversation level DJ Spoo and everyone else because now I was coming in with something along where it's evident we push and then I come with projects that have success. First and I always say my team I always believe more that in Elahore before you reach out to people to say, hey, I need help, go 1, 2, 3, at least Zama a foundation okay, sharp. Your work can be evidence when you get into a room. How already but okay, sharp. This guy's been doing 1, 2, 3.
So then Oskido takes note of Spanisa how, what's the conversation? What is he saying to you? I mean, I can imagine what's the deal? If someone is like, Joe, come into my stable and you are a producer, like, so does this mean every single day when a 9 to 5 year how produce the biti fela? Like, how does it work? Are there targets? Like, what's the deal?
No, target and then it's funny because I was able to work with these entities or the companies like the majors from South Africa without having a contract.
Okay.
Me, I want because Nelly Daren Elahore, I've built my brand in a sense I needed people or the business to know Trump o reliable understand Trump ho kono deliver mereko if sense a deliver understand if Trump ho kono mo phone la kana ko so re kono mo kry kono drop everything and then azwakala to push so but I've been in that structure ya go spana le di label so with your question the creative adina that in elaya 9 to 5 or maybe a free mejor they are working between this and this but it's mostly that in elahore the creative baspanaka the moment.
I see.
So have baspanaka the moment you have days mo eleng gore oskiro na khononzo saka 3 boy let's wake up, we must rock and roll now. So ke di moment tse o tshwana le tsona tse bjao but obviously go na le di project tse eleng gore di mo schedule
okay.
And then
like maybe someone's album or
deadline
okay.
And then ke mo eleng gore okay say we can say for this week we are mainly focusing on Busi's project. Don't first time it's production, and then we can send those music maybe to the artist it's a long hore or whatsoever. First time some would come and then would work go studio bo
okay.
So yeah, I hona that in la hore ke sa itseng maybe the stable tse dingwe ba na le ona that in la hore but I don't believe so.
Okay.
But maybe ba teng ba ileng gore maybe ba re ba ba leng go ke le dibitsang di retain maybe ba tlo botsa re tlhoka beat tse 20 ka kgwedi or whatsoever.
Okay, sure. And then
yeah.
okay. So now let's say you've maybe produced a certain number of beats in a certain time, you know, and maybe it's also inclusive of the project it's about. How does the payment structure work? How does the contract look like for someone like you?
Okay, so for me, I have never been Motwadi contract, but one thing I made sure, like from the beginning of my career, is to sort out my publishing, because that's where the money's at. As someone who writes music, as a composer, so I made sure that part at least ke kgone ho cover this research from the beginning of my career. So what composition. So every song I've ever made in my career, I have a percentage or one, and then of that song, and then you'd have instance more long maybe you'd call and say, hey, Drum Pope, I need production, and then Babang, I have had an instant more long I got a call from this well-established DJ, and they're like, I need production, ne? But we wanna buy you out of the song. Arka publishing ya ha. Understand? So the conversation along or salary bana le yona, okay, sharp, we can do that, but for this much.
Okay, so in that instance, that then makes you a ghost producer, I get it, because they've basically bought your property, and then now, what are they put their names on it?
They put their names on it. So let that in a publishing by kwala.
Okay.
So gore I sell a house.
Yeah. And you can't live in that house anymore.
You can't live in that house anymore. Whatever they do with that house,
okay.
But in most of the time, and like it was only that instance, but Hanchi or I make sure the publishing side always is covered. I always get Padiagaya publishing.
Okay. Who was it for?
Yeah.
But why it's publishing? Who was it for?
DJs so they push.
Buy a house, buy a piano.
Buy a house.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
but look, for someone who doesn't know, what is the actual difference between composition and publishing? Like how will like a publishing be like?
Okay, so with the music, music like let's say a song. So a song, it has Arnalidi master. Ke contracted different.
Okay.
So with the masters, they say whoever pays or whoever makes sure the recording happens owns the masters.
Okay. In the sense of whoever the studio belongs to, or whoever is the sound engineer, like who is that person that makes the recording happen?
Whoever makes sure the recording happens, in a sense of if no recorder mo studio sake, and then I just come in to say, can you go recorder, and then get recorder pin. By default, you own the masters until I come and say on charge of guy for studio.
I see.
So if you say you charge me 5,000 for recording or 200 for recording, and then go kaya zaka how, and then you give me my masters, and then maybe go the label so for instance, Heat Plant is a record label, and then they sign a Drum Pope, and then he sign a Drum Pope. Heat Plants make sure a Drum Pope on a studio or on a studio time, Drum Pope on a Saga outro from Guntlunya High, I go studio, Drum Pope on your fixture homes, and then Papadella doubt this, so automatically the masters are bina do ya go label.
Okay.
So we have that aspect, that business, and then in most cases, if maybe you come in as a external producer, Kibitsa will see her atlo producer, Drum Pope was signing go Heat Plant. Label ekona ho fa maybe 2 to 4% of the masters.
Okay.
That's the contracts so far in my career, and then publishing. So with publishing it's mainly for the writers. So with the writers, I mean producer, artist, long ropela. So bao ba cover ke publishing. So the rights to dia go bona straight, and then he dia go bona, it will depend. Like for me, publishing ya ne administer ke the movement project.
Okay.
The movement project ke company ya Bobst. So what will happen is that ke na le composition ya ka, and then he ke na le percentage ya ka composition yo feta ko administration. Administration ke batho ba eleng gore they make sure gore business ya house always in order. Ke batho ba eleng gore they make sure gore they collect the chelete tsa hao mo eleng gore sentse ba di collect go di.
Okay.
Understand? They make sure, for instance, maybe bina na le dispute or they would make sure gore bona ba khona o krela di lawyera, ba khona o tlhokomela the dispute tse tso tshwana le tse bja. Understand?
Okay.
And then rena le the mechanical rights. The mechanical rights yo batsa studio, and then because if re recordile music mo studio sa how you should be able to get something from that product.
Okay, so when does then the mechanical rights actually apply? You know, so if someone wants to use the beat for maybe like a deal, brand, maybe by advertiser, is that also part of mechanical rights?
No, that's publishing.
I see.
Yeah.
So when does the mechanical rights apply?
Sing mechanically apply mo direct mo. So because I get it also within like the music space, normally the organizations they long they make sure, like for instance publishing a cover some so get the performance on first stand, and then we have some brag on the mechanical. So with the mechanical get that in la horba razaka through a play somewhere on first stand, through the sales somewhere since no really more
streaming
the streaming platforms and whatsoever on first stand ke mo ilong hore can have a percentage nyana on first stand on a level ilong hore ba dlala di, maybe you'd call
like a session musician sure.
To say okay come, and then session musician mo fa cheleta high a ilo ya go publishing romoetsa under the bargain little time.
Okay.
So ke yona ya bodi mechanical and whatsoever.
Okay, but because the session musician is not necessarily part of the song, yana I agree next go mechanical again.
Session musician
because ba mo patetse
o kry go di mechanical ka yona direng ke o botsang ka yona little time.
Oh, okay, cool.
E seng go composition ya go some.
Okay. This is very interesting and confusing at the same time.
It is, because why while I was learning the music business, because I give how true is it? Because la Senegal ko sona ba re boditse gore rona arena like that constitution ya hore okay music business o spana solo so lena go re to the music business ka dibuka tsa go America.
Okay.
So with that being said, I'm saying a gona a template or maybe a fixed situation sa hore this is how the business works. So in most cases ke rata botsa batho ba ilong gore maybe they would ask for advice or hey, how do I navigate this ke kamara situation so gore with the business and music mo South Africa ke that in la gore it's mostly based on the conversation that the creatives have on first time ka mkhoko botsang gore by law a go dumellega gore I can sell my publishing.
I see.
Like I'm cooking regiseditseng ba no, they can buy me out.
Yeah.
Kamlao a wa dumella, I can go back when I say, hey guys, I need that intellectual property.
Yeah.
But the conversation made it possible for that deal gore etsa ha.
Okay.
Because nna feel comfortable le what they were giving me.
Okay.
And then le bona ba feel comfortable le ntwe ile ngore ka ba khopetse go yona.
Bo feel bokae? Guys, so how many figures are we talking about? Because look, as a producer, you gotta make money, right? So, okay, what's the biggest amount you've made?
In which sense?
As a producer. Whether it was your own song or whether it was a song where you contributed, like how many figures?
Yo.
5 figures, 6 figures.
I've made something because for instance, I'm still living off Honabenong, of the music that I've made 6-7 years ago.
Gee whiz. And whose music is this? This is your music, or because I know you've made music for DJ Smooth. Obviously, you've made a lot of music for the people who are part of Kalawa Jazzmee. Which one is getting the most bang?
So I get real example of song. I have the peanuts at hand. The longer get the producer the various people. First time, and then I get the producer the various people. The peanuts also they are notify to say, okay, Shabu. This is the work ya drum poop. So the work ya drum poop each and every song you can run every month.
Okay, so from one song we can say who you've made over 10,000 rand.
Yeah, Kenyan.
Okay, so we can even push it to 30,000 rand.
We can even push it further than that.
Maybe 100,000
We
rand.
can even push it further.
Maybe 200,000, and that's just one song.
No, like a good song. Honestly, a good song.
Yeah.
Or get a big song. It can get you something like a sync. Ne?
Sure.
A sync. What's this?
Maybe
Solid gold.
Yeah.
They say, we wanna use your song to advertise Solid Gold for like 30 seconds, and then they can give you something like 300,000.
Okay, nice. Hey,
If your business, I can reach.
No,
I can really like a music business.
Sure.
And then because I never feel that 300,000. I see long or like the same time.
Yeah, and also you gotta split the money with everybody that was involved.
You gotta split the money with everyone that was involved, and then so what the royalties abairi pinairi 10 rand and then baufa on the same time. So they would say, okay, sharp on a 10 rand, and then haro feona ka daudis ka di split maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, I think that's fair.
O tlo gola February, wa gola June, wa gola September, wa gola December.
Okay. And now, in terms of a split sheet, what does a split sheet look like? Who are normally the contributors that go on a split sheet? And who do you take the split sheet to? Like, Halifetsa who split them all?
So split sheet, you know that in publishing a composition. So we'd say we did a song really 4. So what how the percentage of a song look like was Samro? They would say there's a 50% they are author, and then there's a 50% their composition. So composition meaning production, music, and then author going walang the beat. I get it? So there would be 50-50 in that, and then it will also depend hore la baba ka mo pine.
Sure.
And then maybe if we do can say 50-50, and then you'd have instance more long hore an artist or belang can direct a producer to say, hey, I need melody mo solo so ginaga di kote to solo so. So kono bana le 50% they are higher author, and then also come into composition.
I see. Okay. And what do people get scammed for the most as a producer? Like if you don't want to be scammed, or generally you don't want to be robbed of your intellectual property, what should people look out for? What is the most common thing that happens in the world of the producer?
So ntwe leng hore etsahala ke yona ya display sheet ya hore you make music and then but you credit the bill, because I only realized now when I went to Sambra, gore 90% of the work that I've did, ne? So the artists tse ke berekileng le tsone a di a notify mmereko a ba notify go direct.
Jeez.
Like 90, if not 95%
So
of my work, it's not notified go direct. Because what happens is that ka conversation na ke bileng le bona, all this time I'm thinking gore the label, because ne ke bereka actually the artist tsa di label. I thought the label they do notify my work go direct. No, this guy is part of. But hey, the follow up no. I only have few songs.
So my thing is, what do you now then do? Do you take them to court because on the admin what like what's the next step now, or are you just gonna leave it because that's still a lot of money?
The next step, I think, there in ho zama ho communicate because most of the people, like myself included, understand we don't really understand how like the music business work or where to go or whatsoever. Understand? So sometimes the artists themselves maybe they are not even aware or they were supposed to go there.
I hear you.
Because I learned about this organization, I think maybe 2019, if not 2020.
Okay.
So artists that has been in the game since maybe 90s. Nailona notify mmereko high then.
Jeez. It's crazy.
From this organization, you should go there. Then after, that was more than 25 years.
That's crazy.
So sometimes we think the label, they do notify.
Because it's about, you know what I mean?
And then maybe label le yona it botso ka re wena wa itse gore sentse da o te notify self.
I see. Okay, cool. I hear you. And we're looking forward to finding out, you know, how you do deal with this matter, because if anything, there's a lot of producers who are also watching right now. Perhaps that what you just said. And maybe they do know, maybe they also just don't know the organization they need to go to. So please do let us know. Maybe we can have another conversation at another point in time. But unfortunately we are out of time. Mara, very quickly, some of the biggest songs you've made. Maybe you can give us top 3, top 5. Let's look at the bag.
It's a fire. So, the song that really changed my life, the song that I'll forever be grateful for, was Ladies Ama Collide. So we did Collide because on that project I did a lot of songs. So it was Collide, that was 2017, and then 2018, I met Grootmana House, who and Tlagansale, Daibrafan Omumzegezege. Then we did Nailento, then I did Busi, Rebirth. I moved on to do DJ Z, that song, like Ratanga Bophelo ba ka bo. Indlovu.
Sure.
Indlovu, and then we did Abubaya Teta, Le Zonke, Le Oskido. So yeah, have some good songs.
Catalog.
Yeah, catalog.
But big shout out, Drum Pope. Keep pushing. All the best for the Guinness World Record. I have no doubt that you're actually going to kill it. You're going to achieve.
Killing it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And we have to make another time to talk, you know. Because, I think in as much as you're saying you don't know some things, like just based on this one conversation, we did you know?
Yeah, but I think the most important thing is to learn over the years, because it sounds crazy how someone after 25 years so the most important, or maybe advising guy the creative get that in a first thing first, they need to fix that in their publishing.
Sure.
I want get a publishing deal somewhere, get people who you think you trust to do the administration. I want, and then after doing that, don't relax and say, my business it's covered, it's sorted, because that's what I did. I want learn gore samro mmereko wa yona ke eng, learn gore kapaso mmereko wa yona ke eng,
Sure.
learn gore sambra mmereko wa yona ke eng, and then because like I said, gore I thought the publishing or the labels that I was working with, only to find out from the people from that organization to say no, the artist ke bona self since battle straight. That's because I believe maybe ba zama protector that in la gore the company the artist whatsoever for instance. So we need to learn that's one about this. Make a call, the thing, the phone, that.
No, for
So what
sure.
do you do? What did they? And then they'll let you know and whatsoever.
Okay.
Well.
No, big shout out. Thank you so much, Pope. Keep killing it. Keep doing what you do, man. It is music politics. Nakalina and Nabusi, Baba Kulu, Baba Dese, the queen of Pitori from myself, and the one and only Drum Pope. Howdy.